Well, good morning. My name's Martin and welcome to another week on my allotment. It's 2 weeks since I posted because we went away in the caravan last weekend. Don't suppose we'll be able to do that again for a while. And the weather's changed for the better. It's a glorious day. Got up here nice and early, watched the sunrise as I drove here. Got all day up here. And the plot is finally starting to dry out. I've been very busy moving a lot of cardboard from the skip at the garden centre, so now all my paths are covered, all the grass is suppressed, and I'm wondering if I've made the wrong decision, because now the ground is drying up, we don't have any chippings, and of course as people are stopped from working I'm not sure we're going to get any chippings, but I've done it now, so I'm going to stick with it, and for better or for worse. But yeah, the ground is drying. Out the back here where it comes down the hill it's still very wet, but I'm going to try and put the mower over it today. I'm glad to report that saying hello to my granddaughter in Canada, Lexi, proved to be quite a thrill for her. Only so far as she got her dad to rewind it and play it again a couple of times, and then she went off to play with her toys. But you know, that's the way it is. So I should say hello to my other two grandchildren who live over near Stowmarket. Joey and Lottie, hello to you two. And I'd also like to use the opportunity to say get well soon to my wife Cheryl's cousin David, who's in hospital. He's just had a virus check and it's proved negative, thankfully. So get well soon, mate, and get home. And I've said that now because he doesn't watch my videos for very long. He's not a gardener and he doesn't enjoy them, but so I've said it now, David. You can switch off. What am I doing today? Well, because I suspect that we're going to be restricted in our movements soon, following every other country, I'm busy trying to get my onions and the garlic in the ground. They're in pots around here, or in cell trays. Yeah, cell trays. And I'm getting them in the ground so that if we're, you know, confined to barracks, then at least I've got stuff in and they can get on with it, you know, come rain or shine. So that's what today's all about. I'm also putting up my pea frames. I use, you know, I made some frames back when I got the allotment and I use those every year, so I'm digging those in the ground. And I'm lightly forking over a few of the beds, and I know I said I'd go no dig, but the ground has been completely compressed by the water, so I'm just sort of digging over the surface just to get a bit of light wind, air into it to dry it out a bit quicker, help drainage. Yeah, so lots to do. I'm hoping that later on, come lunchtime, my wife and daughter are coming up. It's Mother's Day, of course, so happy Mother's Day to all you lovely ladies out there. What a shame that it's been restricted, so be it. So they're coming up here. They were going to go to a National Trust garden, but that's been stopped because everyone rushed there, as if that wasn't predictable. So they're coming up here, they're going to have a bit of lunch and they're going to walk up the hill, get some fresh air. They've both got these Fitbits, so they like to get in their 10,000 steps. They could get them in walking around here digging and weeding, couldn't they? But that's not going to happen. So welcome along, welcome to all you new subscribers, and let's see what the future holds. Who knows how much I'll be able to get up here this year. As far as I'm concerned, being up here is perfectly safe. You know, I don't really care about the coronavirus thing, but I only don't care about it for myself. I wouldn't want to harm or risk anybody else's health. So, but I'm not doing that up here. My daughter and I went canoeing on the River Wye yesterday. Wonderful day, beautiful weather, and of course there's nobody there, so it was lovely, had it to ourselves. So I'm hoping that despite the restrictions, that I will continue to be able to get up my allotment, get fresh air. I'm away from everybody. I mean, I've spent 56 years self-isolating from people, so it's not really that much different to me. I don't like crowds. I don't go where there's lots of people. This is why I love my allotment. So I hope you're all well. Welcome along. I'll do a little bit of videoing over the day. You can see what stages I'm at and see how ugly my plot is looking with all this cardboard. yeah, so I'm going to have a cup of tea and crack on. Tomato Shirley, cabbage Killerton, Calabrese Monclano, Brussels sprouts Crispus, and Mountain Magic tomatoes. In the conservatory I've got leeks and some more cauliflower Clapton. In my very small but beautifully formed greenhouse I have 5 tubs of first early potato Swift. This first tub here were put in on the 7th of February and kept in the greenhouse. So it's taken them a month, but they came up, and the others were done a few days ago. And I've got some broad beans coming on nicely, looking very healthy. Some broccoli Monclano that were started off in the house. I've put my sweet peas in a mixture of old plastic pots and toilet roll inners. Here I've got some 2 lettuces on the bottom, a red and a green. Then I've got some Boltardi beetroot and some spring onions that haven't come up yet. These 3 gutters are full of pea alderman. Just done them today, so a couple of weeks to go and we'll see them coming up. And alderman grow to 6 foot high, and I'll pick them all at once and freeze them. So yeah, very happy. It's starting to get productive. And another thing I did today is I did a little tray of a few cauliflower, cabbage, red cabbage and broccoli, trying to do little and often rather than one big blitz. Well, I've raked over this bed, and this bed was raised when we had manure, so that's ready to go. So the onions are going in right now. But I thought before the wind picks up too much, and it is going to be quite blowy today, excuse me sniffing, I'd show you what I've done. So as you can see, all laid with cardboard, and I've got a few old bits of wood that I've managed to put down just to firm it up. It's the same on this side. That path that goes down between mine and my neighbour's plots, I'm getting some slabs off a customer soon, hopefully, and so I'm going to slab that and make a proper path out of it. The big news with my neighbour is, and I haven't seen him, but nice John has, and John spoke to him and he said, and this fella here's another John, he says he's putting a polytunnel on this plot this year. Well, the last 3 years his plot has looked like that, and I would say, if I'm generous, he probably comes up half a dozen times in the 12 months that he's got the allotment. And now apparently he's going to put a polytunnel up. Well, as we all know, if you've got stuff in a polytunnel, it needs to be watered at least every other day. So that's going to be interesting. I shall watch that with fascination. But yeah, back to mine. I've managed to break up pallets, and I've begged, borrowed and stole some wood, and I've managed to raise, they're not raised beds in the purest term, but I've now managed to get some decent edging, as you can see, so if and when I get the chip-ins, I'll be able to put them down to a decent thickness, and then next winter move around the plot. I mean, this is all a plan at the moment. I have looked into getting hold of chippings, privately through landscaping companies, but they're talking about £30 for a normal bag of it. Well, it would take me a few £100 to do this, so I'm hoping to hang on for the free stuff from the farmer. So this is what I've done down here, because this is the lower end and this is really boggy. So yeah, I've spent a lot of time and effort getting hold of these materials and laying this all down. It's been a real labour to get it done, to bring it all here. I'm very lucky that I've got a van I can transport it in. I work for the local garden centre, so I've been able to get hold of the cardboard out of their skip So that's what it looks like at the moment. It's not pretty, but if you think about the weather we've had, you know, you can only do so much. So I'm very happy, and today, like I say, I'm going to fork over the beds. I'm going to fork over the garlic bed here. This is still very soggy. In fact, there's a bit of a puddle still in the corner. However, I shall fork it lightly, get that garlic in, and then it's on its own. And if we get confined to barracks, then, you know, at least I've got crops in the ground. Okay, let's get those onions in. Well, not much to see, but they've all got roots and top growth. So that's 6 rows of white onion Sturon, and then at the end there's 2 rows of red Baron, and they were all the sets were sown 29th of Feb. Today is the 22nd of March and they're in the ground, and apart from weeding through the season, they're on their own. Well, by sheer luck rather than design, this is a bed that was put aside for onions, and it's one of the beds that I raised. So lucky for me, that's a second bed with onions put in. Right, cup of tea again, I think. And it's getting on. It's nearly 8:30, so I'm going to have another cup of tea, and then I'm going to tackle the garlic bed. An hour later, and all the garlic is in. A little while later, my garden pea supports or frames are up. I shall grow 8 rows of peas, one either side of each frame. And then over the other side of the allotment, I'm going to put up a frame for the alderman peas. Well, another little job ticked off, lightly forked over, all the couch grass that I could get removed, and that allows the wind and the sun and the warmth to get into the soil and just dry off the surface. That bed's not used for a while, it's going to have leaks in about a month or 2, but it looks a lot neater and tidier, and I'm a lot happier once it's done like that. And when that dries out a bit, I'll rake it over. This is my lunch arriving. Right, good. The only reason you're allowed up here.
You look like you're in a cage from this angle.
Am I in it or are you in it?
No, you're in it. You're definitely in it.
You should be pacing up and down.
Yeah, I've got time for that.
Time that I've had something off all 3 of them.
Daniel's card was funny. It said, I hope Dad spoils you and takes you to a restaurant or to a London tourist attraction.
Does that mean he wants you to get coronavirus? Probably.
What the underlying
Some
message of
people
that
do
was.
anything for their
Possibly.
inheritance.
Yeah,
Right, so we
the
have-
delivery man rang the doorbell and ran away.
Really?
Yeah, he left it on the door.
Oh,
I went to the
goodness
door, couldn't
sake.
see anyone. Now I looked down, there's this big pink box.
Mind you, I suppose, you know, for everybody like us who doesn't care, if there's someone going, go away, go away.
I got quizzed in it by the...
Happiness is.
Cheers. Cheers. Are we not doing?
Yeah.
Is that with all the plastic bottles on?
It's John's.
Oh, is he staring off?
No, it's every one of them is a little cloche. Right, well, it's a bit of a Heath Robinson affair, but this is the frame that I'm going to grow the alderman peas up. Alderman peas grow to about 6 feet high, and I've taken the idea from Cliff and Diane on Castle Hill Gardens, but I saw last year he grew them and then picked them all in a oneer and froze them straight away, and I thought that was a great idea for winter meals, so that's what I'm doing this year, taking a leaf out of his excellent book, and we'll see how that goes. The peas are now in the greenhouse, as you saw earlier, so you know, in a month, hopefully, if we're allowed out to play, I'll plant them up this frame. Right, I've had a good day, made all the more special by Charlotte and Cheryl's visit. Thoroughly enjoyed the afternoon tea we had, courtesy of Mother's Day. I've managed to achieve a lot, apart from the nice lunch. Forked over a few of the beds that have been compressed by the 5 months of heavy rain, so they're now dry. I mean, they've dried out while I've been here, the topsoil, so really pleased with that. I've planted all my onion sets, planted all my garlic bulbs. I've created this pea frame ready, and the peas are in the greenhouse, so that's all good to go. And you know, generally had a tidy up and a mess about on site. Hard work, but thoroughly enjoyed it. Just lovely to be out in the fresh air with a warm sun on my back and in my face. So I've absolutely enjoyed it. I think I said earlier, I may not have, I can't remember, that Charlotte and I went canoeing yesterday on the River Wye. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And she's posted, she is a YouTuber as well, Charlotte Jordan is the name of her videos. And if you look her up, her latest one that she posted this morning is a little summary of our canoe trip, if you're interested in that. But other than that, look after yourselves, and all being well, I shall be back again next week. Bye for now.